Show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocketradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee and panel.
All right, it is Coffee and here on WOON AM and FM. Thanks for joining us this morning on Thursday, January the 8th. I'm Joe Callahan, and around the coffee and table, let's say good morning to Bob Lauder. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning. Good to be with you.
Glad you're here with us. And Mr. John Ward is with us. Hi, John.
Yes, I am. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning to you.
Good morning, Joe. Good morning, Bob.
Sue Tester
Good morning,
McKenzie
Sue.
is not with us today and can't be with us today. So, well, we feel bad about that. But we hopefully Sue will be with us next week.
Hopefully it's for good reasons.
Oh, hopefully it is. So we'll check in with Sue next week here on the Coffee and program. So you can call in your comments and questions at 766-1240. And to kick things off, well, they they announced the identity of the Uxbridge police officer that was killed yesterday morning. That is very tragic. His name is Stephen Laporta, a 43-year-old man, and I read it yesterday. He leaves behind a wife and a 13-year-old son.
Wow.
Very, very tragic. Going northbound on 146, I think I read it. It was near exit 6, if you know where that is.
I call that the Walmart exit.
Okay, there you go. And stopping to help another motorist that was on the side of the road, and got hit by a tractor trailer.
Oh, jeez.
I'm like, wow. It's bad enough you get hit by a car, but when you get hit by a truck. And now they're saying the truck driver was also taken to the hospital. He had minor injuries. The person that was broken down to begin with, nothing happened to them. They didn't get hit at all.
Wow.
So, and he was unfortunately pronounced dead at the scene.
What time of day was this?
It was about 12:40 in the morning.
Okay,
so this was yesterday morning.
All right. Yeah.
When you say morning, do you mean middle of the night morning?
Yeah, really. It's a little after midnight. And
so it was dark.
It was dark, and we had all that icy conditions, too. Don't know if that had anything to play into it, but it doesn't say that the truck was skidding or something like that. It was just dark.
Wow.
And bang. So
has the truck driver been arrested for any violations?
No, it doesn't say anything about that. Just that he was taken to the hospital with minor injuries, but Mass State Police are still investigating.
Wow!
So maybe something will come of it, and maybe not. You never know on these things just yet. All flags across the state of Massachusetts have been lowered to half staff.
Yes.
Can you say staff? And I guess they'll be down for a little bit, and so no word yet on funeral arrangements just yet for Mr. Laporta, but this is one of those things where police departments from across the state of Mass, maybe even Rhode Island too, will just flood in.
Oh yes,
send a contingency.
They will all be there.
Yes, for this kind of thing, and so they got the blue bunting around the police station in Uxbridge and so like that. So there you go. What did I read yesterday? He just become an officer recently,
really,
or a full-time officer. I'm like, wow, really? At 43? We started off in dispatch. He worked in Mendon for a little while, and then maybe there's no openings, and so we moved over to Uxbridge where there was an opening. So I'm like, well, usually police officers stop being police officers in their 20s, and it just.
Oftentimes, but you never know. Career paths are different.
Right, you just go in different directions. So
the scary part is...
my son, God bless him, started with a criminal justice degree and is now a physician assistant.
Oh, okay.
So things change.
What were you going to say, Pop?
I was going to say, the scary part is, you leave the house in the morning and you don't know what's going to happen to you during the day.
That's right.
Yes,
and I read something on that yesterday too. It was the wife of another police officer. I guess her husband had been in the force for 19 years, and they say it's a reality or it's a possible reality. You try not to think about it. Firefighters and police.
I don't want to read anything into this, but was he off duty when he did this?
Oh no, he was on duty.
And I guess then the question in the investigation will be whether or not he had his lights flashing to warn any oncoming vehicles that there was something going on and they should move away.
Yep.
Because that is one of the laws, is that when you see lights on the side of the road, you're supposed to give the whole lane.
Yes.
Really, and move over to the left as far as you can.
Well, the law as I know it is you should move over if you can. Now, at 12:40 in the morning, you should be able to move over.
I would think so.
But if you can't, you're really supposed to slow down to almost 20.
Yes.
So give them room and.
It's just if he were doing this
being a nice guy.
Just being a nice guy because he happened to be there.
No, he was.
Then I could understand it better because there wouldn't be any kind of warning that there's something going on. But if he had cruiser lights flashing, then it's a little trickier, I think, for the truck driver.
No, he was on duty and responding to something, broken down vehicle on the road on a cold, dark, icy night.
It was not a comfortable night.
Nope, not at all. Well, I did want to bring it up, but it's one of those things that just has taken on a quick life of its own, and it's the shooting in Minneapolis.
Yes,
with the woman Renee Good, who's not from Minnesota. She's from Colorado. Okay.
Well, she's a widow who has a partner that she acquainted herself with that is in Minneapolis, and she moved there to be with her.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, so she lives in...
She lives in Minneapolis now.
Why are they saying she's from Colorado?
Well, she is from Colorado.
Okay, but
I
she's
think
a
it's
resident.
a recent... At least I believe she lives in Minneapolis. But yes, but her partner now is I believe, in Minneapolis.
Have you seen the video, Bob?
Yes, I did.
Okay. You seen the video, John?
Several times, several angles.
And I've seen
or at
it a
least
little
two
bit.
angles.
And I can see both sides. I can see both sides of the argument on this. Some say she was driving at the ICE agents, and I'm like, well, I guess you can make an argument for that. Others look like she was trying to drive away, and I can't tell. Not that I watched the video a lot. I can't tell who's doing the shooting.
Oh no, the police officer that was in front of the vehicle is the one that did the shooting. He shot twice.
Side.
He shot twice, and it appears to me he shot when she first lunged towards him, and it must have bounced off the windshield because he then shot again. And when you see a picture of the front of the vehicle now, the bullet hole is in the lower left corner of the windshield, which is the second shot I believe he took, which was as she was proceeding by him, he shot again. And I think that's the one. It was a more direct hit, went through the glass and hit her in the head.
Okay. Bob, thoughts on
I only
on the
saw
video?
one video. I didn't see several. And
there are different angles.
Okay, in the one that I did see, it looked as though the ICE officers were shooting at her as the car was attempting to leave.
Yes.
And it was not, they were not in danger. And I was...
Yeah, I think the officer could have a problem, especially seeing as it was the second shot that may have gotten her, which was when she was already moving past him, even though she may have contacted him with the vehicle, and he was going to likely claim that he was in imminent danger of harm. That's not, I don't think, likely to hold up because of the timing on the second bullet. However, I always couch this whole scenario in this. Her risk of losing her life would have dropped to zero if she had not chosen, as a personal decision, to attempt to interfere with ICE officers in the operation or the performance of their duties.
I'm
That's
not
what
sure
that's
she
what I heard
did.
too. Well, that's what they're saying. She was blocking the road.
She was blocking the road. She had been doing it all day. That's on record. She has been interfering with them throughout the day
and not letting
by
ICE agents
putting herself
pass.
in their way and in their path. And had she simply allowed them to do their job, whether you like it or not, you allow them to do their job. And by the way, when they're done, they're going to leave. And but she felt that it was her right to raise the level of civil disobedience to the point of interference, and that is not her right.
Bob, after you seeing the video, do you believe that she was lunging with her car at the agents, or was she just trying to drive away?
The video that I saw, and I didn't see as many as John did,
All right.
It appeared that she was trying to drive away. It did not seem to me that she was driving toward either of any of the police officers or the ICE officers.
John, do you think that too?
I absolutely agree with that assessment. I think what happened was
So do I.
an officer approached the door and grabbed at it and told her to get out of the car, and she panicked and said,
I'm hitting the
and in
gas.
her mind she was I'm leaving.
Yeah.
I don't think she likely ever even saw the officer in front of the car because she was looking at the officer likely
On the side.
that was coming
Yeah.
at her, and in a panic turned the wheel, hit the gas, and there happened to be somebody in front of her that ended up shooting her.
Right.
So I think there's a level of innocence on her part in trying to simply get away, but at the same time, everything that underlies this is that she spent the day interfering with their operation, and she put herself in harm's way by doing it. And unfortunately, a terrible outcome is what came of it.
I think everybody has the right, though, to make a protest against something that they feel is injustice.
They absolutely
And,
do, but not by putting your car in the way of them performing their duty
Well,
in the middle of the road.
I'd have to see other videos to make sure to verify exactly what she's doing.
Bob,
I accept John's statements
yeah.
because he's seen them. But,
As a different scenario, let's say you weren't happy with what the Woonsocket police are doing.
okay.
Is it your right to go down to Worrell Street and put your car in front of their gate and not let anybody in or out as a protest?
I would. You have a right to protest, and I don't think that the manner in which you protest, there can be consequences from it, as John said.
Right.
If I was to block the entrance to the police parking lot with my vehicle, I think I'd start off with probably being arrested for parking in the wrong place because it's a no parking zone. And
You got to get a ticket too.
yeah, so
Okay. Well,
But
what's a protest and what's not a protest?
But the moment there becomes an emergency that they must leave the lot and you're blocking them, the level of the charge, I am confident, will rise quickly.
against me, yes,
Against you.
definitely,
Yeah.
yes.
So you're going to hear a lot more about this throughout probably today and tomorrow, and as things go on, because it's once again it is split right down the middle.
Now, I was wondering, however, if they're going to identify the ICE officers who fired the shots, because
I haven't
in
heard
the
a name.
videos it looks like they're wearing their famous masks.
No, actually, the guy that did the shooting did not have a mask on, and when there's pictures
Oh.
of him walking away from that towards the car after she had been shot and crashed into the cars. There's a video of him walking towards the car from where this whole incident occurred.
Oh.
And he's clearly visible, so
Okay.
he should be identifiable. At
That
some
one I
point.
haven't seen either.
And there will be, of course, an FBI investigation,
Investigation.
and state police and local police investigating.
But then, did you hear what the mayor of Minneapolis said? His famous quote from yesterday. Bob, did you hear it?
No.
John?
Yes, I did. Something
let's
to do with words that the FCC prohibits from us repeating here on the air.
He told ICE to get the freak out of
Yeah.
his city, and he didn't say
No,
freak.
he
Bob.
said the four-letter version.
I'm like, wow. And this is a news conference, live TV and radio and everything. I'm like, yikes.
Well, I can imagine his frustration with it,
Well,
but
he's-
I
yes,
don't
he's
think
angry.
He
the.
also characterized their saying that it was the Homeland Security's description of the event was BS,
Did he?
and using the full word, of course.
I'm sure. Okay.
Well, in today's political environment, those words show up a lot.
A lot. Yeah. So,
Actually, the governor said some things, and I'm going to be checking the quotes throughout the day today as
Of Minnesota?
time goes on. The governor, I said something that actually may put him in serious jeopardy because he effectively said that. Basically, I said he's used the term that Minnesota is at war with the federal government. And they are saying things that could be construed as inciting violence against the federal government. And there are terms for that are in law that have come with serious consequences if you start using them, especially as a governor of a
sound
state.
about right, Bob?
I think in today's political environment, there's lots of threats being
Made.
by both sides. One side in particular, but I'm not allowed to get into that.
Yes, you are.
You can if you want to. All right, think about that. We're going to take a break here on the Coffee and program, and more is coming your way.
We'll just leave you to deal with the fellow that comes in after this show.
Mr. Smith. All right, more coming up on Coffee and here on ON Radio.
ON Radio.
Your premier real estate expert is Scott McGee of the Stearns McGee team at RE/MAX Properties in North Smithfield. Scott has had extensive training and knows the latest real estate strategies. He can offer you knowledge and tools most other agents can't. To see the latest listings from the Stearns McGee team at RE/MAX Properties, visit this website, McGeeSoldMyHouse.com. Scott McGee of Stearns McGee team at RE/MAX Properties can help you buy or sell your home.
Say, let's see what's going on at Chance for Entertainment tomorrow night, Friday, January 9th. It's Through the Doors. That's right, they're back again. What a great time it is when they come on to Chance for sure. It's the Jim Morrison tribute that takes you back to all the years and the music of the Doors at Chance, 25 in advance and 30 at the door. Then on Saturday, Bruce Mattson Band coming in on January the 10th. Yes, the Hammond B3 master Bruce Mattson, and what a great organ that is. I used to play one. A former member of the Greg Allman Band brings its signature Crescent City swagger for a night of swampy New Orleans, funky R&B, jazz, and blues at Chance. 15 in advance, 20 at the door. Bruce Mattson Band on Saturday night. And oh, they got great food too at Chance, 267 Main Street in Woonsocket.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee Roasters. All their coffee is roasted right here in Rhode Island. Down East Coffee Roasters is available at all Little General stores.
and worldwide.
This portion of the Coffee and program is sponsored by the Blackstone Valley Call-in Times.
Whether you own a restaurant or an auto repair shop, you need as many customers as you can get. Every business does. Don't limit yourself to one newspaper. Get the power of 2 daily newspapers for the price of 1. The Blackstone Valley's Call and Times deliver customers from all over the valley with just one phone call. Phone 767-8500 for twice the effectiveness over twice the area. The Call and the Times.
All right, Coffee and here on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Bob Lauder and John Ward. We had a note called in dealing with the shooting in Minneapolis, and the caller just says, I heard today on the news that the ICE officer involved in this shooting had already been attacked months earlier during a protest back in June when he was struck and dragged by a vehicle driven by another ICE protester. So when that same officer is confronted again by a protester advancing a vehicle, the threat is not speculative. It is immediate and credible. Only someone arguing in bad faith would pretend otherwise.
Yes, that the court's difficulties will be about state of mind
Yes.
and previous experiences
Especially he's been hit
as
before,
opposed
yeah.
to his training and his legal obligations.
Okay, so
John
more-
is
In my
good.
opinion.
Isn't he good?
Yeah.
Isn't he good on dealing
Really
with
is.
stuff like that? So, all right. So we're gonna get you boys' opinion on this.
I think I'm going to close my office and just let John and Sue run everything.
Run the place. So tell me. If
Actually,
this
I
is,
stole that from Cuomo, who I was watching last night.
So tell me if this isn't just a smack of Rhode Island ease, John and Bob. The former candidate for mayor of Cranston had her driving on the influence charge files against her dismissed. Maria Bucci was arrested back on December 18th after being pulled over in East Greenwich, and body cam footage from the cop, revealed she argued with the officer who stopped her. Give her one of those "Do you know who I am?" speeches.
Yes.
Bucci pled guilty to refusing to submit to a chemical test, and the misdemeanor charge she was facing ended up being dropped. Her license will be suspended for 30 days, and she's been ordered to perform 20 hours of community service. So, Bob, is this just the deal they came up with? To have the charges dropped, you got to have your license suspended for 30 days to do 20 hours?
I would
community
imagine that the prosecutor and the attorney for the defendant talked about the case and worked out an arrangement that both the state and the defendant found to be appropriate.
And we're going to drop the DUI charge as part of it.
I agree, and I would.
Yeah.
I will only hope that that exchange or negotiation is completely consistent with how they treat other people in similar situations, so that it's not something that could be
I just don't think it will be. though.
honestly construed as a purely political accommodation.
That's what it looks like on the surface.
That's what it does look like. But again, I can't come to that conclusion if it is, it is totally consistent with how plea bargains are negotiated. You give one thing and they take something away so that you don't, oftentimes, it gets, to me, a little more political when they do it with police officers, where they will allow them to plead to a misdemeanor and avoid the multiple felony charges by keeping them out of court and wasting a lot of money. But then the police officer gets their job back with all the back pay and gets his pension, which he probably shouldn't have. But this is, I think, a simpler thing, and it's a fair. I think it's likely a fair negotiation.
Okay.
You take the short hit. You admit your guilt on a minor
Somewhat,
misdemeanor, and then you keep the AG's office from having to waste time in court.
Right. Sound about right, Bob?
I think John's accurate. Yes.
Right on top of things. All right. Way to go, John. All right. You heard about that plane crash out in Provincetown? The pilot was from Attleboro.
I heard there had been a plane crash, but I didn't get any more details about it.
Happened on Sunday afternoon, just a few days ago. 60-year-old Christopher Burrows of Attleboro died when the small plane he was piloting crashed and burned during an attempted landing. I don't know where he was coming from.
Did it say what the weather conditions were like, or did they give a reason for the crash?
No, just that they pronounced dead at the scene, and the NTSB is investigating what was going on as he tried to land, and the plane just crashed and burned.
Wow!
So we don't know what was wrong with what could have gone wrong with the airplane just yet. That has not been identified.
Does it say how old he was?
60.
60.
Yeah, 60. And it doesn't
be one of those. Could be one of those medical events.
Could have been. It doesn't say yet, and doesn't say how long he's been piloting.
Like some older people have these events while they're driving.
Yeah,
and they say
why
it's
are
crash.
you looking over at the oldest guy in the room?
Because you're the closest thing to a mirror image for me at my age.
I'm the kid in the room.
Well, I mean,
Kid in the room.
well, I mean, you're closer to my age than he is.
Well, they had a shooting in Pawtucket, too. Well, we're full of good news.
Good Lord, what's going on?
Yes, police were called to a home on Pleasant Street last night, and they found a man suffering from a gunshot wound. He was rushed to a nearby hospital for treatment. No word on just how badly he was hurt. And so far, no arrests have been announced, and anyone with information, if they know of any, on this case is asked to contact Pawtucket police. So that's what happened last night in that city. So
You are filled with good news this morning.
Filled with great
Let's
news.
just keep on going.
Yeah.
Whoa.
What?
You've got a big jar here on the table. What does this mean?
We're going to get to the big jar in about 7 minutes. We have a drawing is coming up. It's the Milk Fund calendar drawing. That'll be fun. That's coming up in a few minutes.
Okay. All right. Something to look forward to.
So stick around for that. What's the other? All right, you want more bad news?
No.
Wow.
Okay, go with the bad news. What's this one?
In Massachusetts, we had the story yesterday because the flu is running rampant. And so the story yesterday
Must be January.
Yeah. The story yesterday, there was one pediatric flu death in Massachusetts. We're now up to 4.
Oh, geez.
Pediatric flu deaths. 2 of the children have died were under the age of 2, and they were from Boston. And according to state data, last updated on December 31st, the flu has claimed the lives of 29 adults in Massachusetts. So
Okay.
nothing on Rhode Island. I don't have any information on that.
Now, they publicize a lot about getting flu shots at this time of year.
It's still constant. They still want you to get it.
All right, but were these people vaccinated or unvaccinated, or?
They don't say with the kids.
Oh,
and they
a
don't say
2-year-old.
they don't,
I wouldn't expect so. Probably.
they don't say so with the adults, but the CDC says they want kids 6 months and older to be vaccinated with the flu shot. That's the new thing.
See, that's where the anti-vax people make the mistake of try to broad brush the standard flu vaccines, which are, if nothing else, if they don't prevent you from getting it, will diminish the severity of the symptoms that you encounter. And they compare it to things like the COVID or SARS vaccines, which are mRNA vaccines, which are not done in the same way that your standard flu vaccinations are created. And I think by people not giving their children a flu shot or taking them themselves, they put themselves at real risk that they shouldn't.
Did you see the story yesterday? The CDC came down with instead of vaccinating your kids for these 18 diseases, it's really only 11. Did you not hear that yesterday?
I understand that.
Okay, and they didn't say which ones.
It requires a lot of reading, but there's
Yes, it
many
does.
in there that are things that are they're trying to prevent something that so rarely happens that
Yeah.
it's almost ridiculous to waste it on that vaccination. But they don't say don't do your MMR vaccination. They still want you to get the measles, mumps,
rubella.
and rubella vaccinations.
Polio, yeah.
Even if you spread them out over time instead of taking them all at once.
But it's the first time, Bob, I've ever heard basically the United States saying, we're going to do something that another country's doing. I've never heard them ever say this. We're the United States. We know what we're doing. Everyone should follow our lead. And the CDC has decided dropping the vaccines from 18 down to 11, and that they're following what Denmark does. And I'm like, wow, we actually admitted we're following what another country's doing.
Well, I don't necessarily believe that following another country is something we should be doing blindly. I would think that
Well, I'm
we've
sure
got
they did their research.
our scientists doing research, and under the present administration with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. running the Department of Health, I have real skepticism about a lot of things that they're putting out right now. So I'm not sure that I accept full face the recommendations now to forego vaccines on.
Well, when we were talking with Linda Tebow yesterday, our registered nurse that's on Coffee,
Good.
Her take on the whole thing was, you really got to talk to your doctor.
Of course.
Don't worry about what the CDC says. Worry about what your pediatrician and doctor
I think the CDC always
say.
couches everything they say under the heading of, you need to consult your physician about these things.
Well, you should,
But I
yeah.
think the real reason they're doing it is they're trying to ingratiate themselves with Denmark so they'll give us Greenland.
Okay.
We're following your health guidelines, so can we have that land? Oh, here you go. And that's still in the that's still in the talks.
Are you kidding?
Trump still
The
wants
press secretary said that military action is not out of the question.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow is right.
Yeah, I mean,
The
That's a bit
invasion
over
of
the top.
Venezuela without congressional approval, you don't think that's an act of war? You're going into another country, you're grabbing their president and
every-
taking him out?
Every president
Bob?
except Washington has done it in history.
well, yeah.
I doubt it.
No, that's true.
There's a list.
There is a list. My favorite one is
Bill Clinton went into Bosnia without congressional approval.
I'm not sure that was right.
Barack Obama bombed Libya in 2011 without congressional approval.
And I will urge you not only to consider the Monroe Doctrine, but I just saw it this morning. You have to consider the position that was taken by Teddy Roosevelt and the implications of what he was proposing about interference and risks to the United States caused by outside interference in the Western Hemisphere, and the fact that China and Russia had a major incursion. And I heard a great analysis by a guy who was talking about China's influence over Venezuela to the point that they're giving them so much that they're buying back, they're paying for what they're getting with oil, and it comes to billions of dollars a year in oil that China's getting for free. And his point in his argument was, and China's using that leverage to get oil that they will need for their military operation as they consider the possibility of militarily taking Taiwan. And part of our strategy is to block them from accessing enough fuel to keep the jets and the boats doing what they want to do with them around Taiwan. Very, very sort of outside around logic, but you know, I'm not that deep in the federal government, but I could almost imagine how that makes some sense to people in government without saying openly that that's really the strategy.
And just I saw that list too of presidents that ordered attacks without congressional approval. Just keep in mind John F. Kennedy with the Bay of Pigs. There was no congressional approval there, and that was a disaster.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Jimmy Carter.
I
in
don't
Iran,
think
and that was a disaster.
I think that they should have congressional approval. I think that's what's required under the Constitution. And the fact that other presidents, Republican or Democrat, may have taken these kind of action and invaded other countries without congressional approval, I don't think is right.
Okay, all right. We're going to take a break here in the Coffee AM program right now. It's time for a look at this portion of Coffee AM has been sponsored by the Blackstone Valley Call-In Times. Taking a look at the forecast right now, sponsored by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation.
Sunny skies today with a high of 44 and a breeze from the northwest. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, overnight low of 25, calm wind. Patchy fog is possible, also patchy freezing fog. Friday's weather, patchy freezing fog in the early morning. Otherwise, partly sunny skies with a high of 50 degrees. The breeze will come up from the south up to 25 miles per hour. Friday night, showers are 60% likely, overnight low of 41 degrees. It'll be breezy with a tenth to a quarter of an inch of rain possible Friday night. Saturday's weather, rain is likely, cloudy skies, a high of 48, 70% chance of rain all day. Saturday night, 90% chance of rain, overnight low of 38. Sunday, cloudy skies, high near 46 and a breeze from the north. Monday, sunshine and 37. Tuesday, mostly sunny with a high of 42. And Wednesday, mostly cloudy skies, high near 46 degrees.
Outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio on the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street, mostly sunny skies and a temperature reading of 29 degrees. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at crohnscolitisfoundation.org.
Whether you own a restaurant or an auto repair shop, you need as many customers as you can get. Every business does. Don't limit yourself to one newspaper. Get the power of 2 daily newspapers for the price of 1. The Blackstone Valley's Call and Times deliver customers from all over the valley with just one phone call. Phone 767-8500 for twice the effectiveness, over twice the area. The Call and the Times.
Hey, Woonsocket, guess who's back in business? Trudeau's Auto Repair on Cass Avenue is officially reopened under brand new local ownership. Fabricio and Kristen invite you back to Trudeau's Auto Repair. With more than 20 plus years of automotive experience, the new owners have been a longtime customer of Trudeau's and they're committed to continuing the honesty, trust, and care Trudeau's has always been known for. Tune-ups, diagnostics, oil changes, and general automotive repair, plus Rhode Island State inspections can all be done at Trudeau's Auto Repair, 654 Cass Avenue, Woonsocket. Follow them on Facebook.
Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse offers authentic homemade Polish food to make your next meal special. Try our many varieties of hot and fresh pierogies with onions and what they call dirty sour cream. Or pick up gołąbki, kielbasa, babkas, or some fresh rye bread. We also offer a large selection of specialty and imported foods. Open Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, 9 in the morning till 6 p.m., Wednesdays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturdays from 8 to 5 p.m. It's Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse. Follow us on Facebook and learn about our weekly specials. Located at 855 Social Street, Woonsocket, Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse has all the authentic Polish foods you love.
ON Radio.
We are on Coffee and on ON. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan with John Ward and Bob Lauder. And Bob, time for a first message from your law office, please. And then we're going to have our drawing.
Oh, great. Thank you. Good morning. Diana, I'm dusting off old commercials from the past. I'm sorry I didn't work on this myself today. I'd like to talk to you this morning about a simple and easy-to-read commercial. One which will convince Mrs. Rogers that I was actually paying attention during her first-grade reading classes at Providence Street School. I'd like to return to the subject of estate planning and the decisions you should make in organizing the distribution of your assets following your death. Initially, you should make a list of your assets, what you have: real estate, money invested in banks and financial institutions, money you've invested in stocks and bonds, money you've invested in IRAs and 401ks and similar retirement programs, and life insurance policies. Then you should identify any individuals you've added to the assets, either as a joint owner with you or as a beneficiary to receive the asset upon your death. Once you know the extent of your present estate, it's time to move to the second part, which I'll discuss in my next commercial. In the event you think that my office may be assistant to legal matters, please call me for an appointment. My name is Bob Lauder. My telephone number is 762-4550. And the disclaimer: the Supreme Court of Rhode Island licenses all attorneys in the general practice of law. The court does not license or certify any attorney as an expert or specialist in any field of practice. Thank you.
All right, it's time to do our Milk Fund calendar drawing for today, January 8th. Bob, I'm going to hand the bucket over to you.
But I'm going to pass it on to John because I don't want to be the one who's identified as not pulling the correct.
Well, all right then.
And there's a whole lot of envelopes in here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who are going to be disappointed.
Well, yeah.
Versus the one who's going to be really happy. So I'm putting
right.
the responsibility over on John.
John, stick your hand in there.
Do I have to close my eyes?
Swish it around a little bit. Pull out one, please. And this person's going to win a $25 Amazon gift card.
Oh, wow.
So
Nice.
they'll be very happy with that, I guess, and use it at some point. John has picked out one, tossed it over to me. Now I have to try to read the handwriting, and John Brian.
Oh, great.
Yeah, that John Brian from the Brian Law Group. Congratulations, John. You're the winner of the $25 Amazon gift card. We'll be giving John a little call a little later on to.
That means John has
Congratulations.
made a donation to Milk Fund in order
That's
to get
right.
his name in the bottle.
John, I'll
That's right.
accept my commission in the form of a cup of coffee.
Whoa.
And then after we get a hold of John.
That's about 10%, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
sounds
then
good.
When we get a hold of John, we put his name, we put that piece of paper, that envelope back in the
Back
bucket.
in the bucket.
And so he could win, possibly win again.
Whoa.
When we do another drawing, we do another drawing tomorrow. Tomorrow's winner will receive a $50 Cello's gift card. That's been given to us by Rep. Steve Casey.
Not bad.
All right, so that'll be
Great.
tomorrow. So congratulations, John Brian. All right, moving on to other things. I guess there's controversy down there in Providence, John. Yes. A proposed rent stabilization ordinance is expected to be introduced at the Providence City Council, probably tonight. However,
Speaking of protests, I suspect you will see some protests going on related
yeah,
to
the
that.
Rhode Island Association of Realtors, they're not happy. They just call it rent control. We don't care what you call it. It's rent control is what it is. And it's urging property owners and rental managers to attend the 6 p.m. meeting. The association questions the impact the ordinance would have for landlords. It said face rising costs for insurance, taxes, utilities, and other expenses.
What are the terms of the proposed legislation?
I don't have that much information. This
Right.
is just a quick little, this is what's happening.
I think it's basically a rent control plan that would probably establish, and I'm guessing, I haven't read the details of it, I'm guessing it's something similar to what they have in New York, where they are, rent increases are governed by some board that oversees what's allowed based on economic conditions, which fails ultimately because it's a government intruding in commerce and supply and demand. But that's what they're looking to pass, some kind of rent control, and there's a fear that it's going to spread across the state and take hold in General Assembly action, which is always a legitimate fear in the state of Rhode Island. So that's the objection, is a standard rent control thing.
All right. Well, they're going to battle with it.
That always, now that I hear this, always triggers in my mind two things. One is that crazy woman in New York City who is in charge of tenant protection, and she claims that landlords represent, or private ownership of property, rental properties represents white supremacy.
Yes, I heard that yesterday.
and they want to take over because rental property should be done under a collectivist methodology. And then the second thing is Trump. I saw an article this morning saying that Trump is proposing, either through his executive action and looking for legislation to codify this, to prohibit the purchase of single-family homes by corporations.
All right.
Because I guess back after 2008, when the markets all collapsed and everything went crazy, places like BlackRock and other companies started buying up single-family homes. And I'm not speaking ill of the commercials, but have you heard those commercials? We pay cash for your home.
Yes, yeah.
I think the corporations are behind that, and when they go in and pay cash, they then convert them to rental properties, and they do it to the benefit of the corporate stockholders. And
Not a bad business model.
Well, I think, as the article said, it's Trump taking on something of a Democrat issue, and there's a legitimacy to it because many corporations, I guess corporations now own about 3% of the total U.S. single-family home quantities across the nation, and they are not necessarily the best landlords because their motivation is a higher level of profit motivation than a single owner personal landlord who will probably better accommodate tenants and still want to get some return on their investment, but it's not as high a priority as the profit motive is for places like BlackRock.
All right. Well, there's another good trial that's going to be starting in Massachusetts, Bob.
Whoopee. What's this one?
Well, it's a murder trial. All right. So just keep your eye on this one. Attorneys outline complex logistical issues ahead of the upcoming murder trial for Lindsay Clancy. This is the woman from Duxbury, Massachusetts, accused of killing her 3 young children back in 2023 and then jumping out of the window. Remember that story?
No, not at all.
No? John doesn't remember. I do. I remember it. Well, defense lawyers told a judge Clancy's medical condition and constant supervision requirements could complicate courtroom proceedings, while prosecutors argue accommodations are already addressed in a sealed court filings. She is pled not guilty and is being held in Tewksbury State Hospital as she awaits trial. Jury selection is scheduled to begin July 20th, 2026. So it's not starting anytime soon, after a judge denied a request to move the case out of Plymouth County.
I don't recall the incident at all.
Yeah, pretty bad.
But it's got to be a mental health issue, too.
Well, that's why she's at the
I think.
Tewksbury State Hospital.
I mean,
Yeah.
so there's probably an insanity plea in our future.
No.
Speaking of insanity pleas, I see that the attorney, and maybe Bob can weigh in on this one, because I have a theory about it, but it's only just a novice theory. The lawyer for Reiner's kid quit,
Yes, I saw that.
and he didn't
he's-
specify why.
Well, he's not.
No, he
the
said
story
that-
he had yesterday, he's not under suicide watch anymore.
Okay, but
What's that got to do with the attorney quit?
Well, I don't know.
Apparently-
Nothing, I guess.
I think the attorney resigned right after the arraignment. I think
Yeah?
he's pled not guilty.
Yeah.
And then the attorney said, I'm no longer going to be involved in the case.
Okay.
I don't know why. I would expect it either has something to do with how he's getting paid.
Okay.
Or a lack of being paid.
Right.
Thank you for hitting exactly what I was thinking.
Or there's a real dispute as to the strategy on the defense they're going to be following.
Oh, okay.
But
That's also a possibility. But the first thought that crossed my
Was
mind
money?
was he must have found out that the kid couldn't get the inheritance and there's no money for him.
which is just because defense of a case like that is going to take a lot of
Very
time.
expensive.
And the time that you're spending on that case, if you're not getting paid for it, you could spend on working that's going to bring money into your office and pay for your staff. So it's a justifiable reason.
Okay.
He may have had a chance to see the will and found out that because the kid was so in trouble with the law before,
Yeah.
maybe the will specified that if the kid's got some issues with legal standing, that everything will go to these charities or something. And he said, wait a minute, there's nothing there for me.
I got
I'm out
nothing.
of here.
All right. Back here in New England, I bring it up because video game retailer GameStop, and we have a GameStop here in Woonsocket. It's at Walnut Hill Plaza.
Yes.
Okay. Just down from Planet Fitness. Okay?
All right.
They used to be really big mall stores, but
Yes.
they shrunk down.
And well, they're closing 9 stores in Massachusetts. I bring it up because I used to work for the company GameStop before they were GameStop. It was another
Oh, that's
company.
the same company?
Yes, it was another company called Babbage's, named
Okay,
after Charles
I remember
Babbage.
that.
Okay, and then we merged with Software Etc. to become one company, and then we bought Electronics Boutique to become one company, and then they bought another company called Funkoland, and then they changed it all over and said, okay, we don't have 4 different names, and then they became GameStop, and then they moved out of malls, and they really saw what was happening, and they said, we got to get out of Emerald Square Mall because nobody's coming here, and so they got out of the malls and went across the street in North Attleboro. To like a Diamond Hill Plaza is. So, but in Massachusetts, they're closing 9 of these stores.
Now, do they actually sell the product, or was it like Blockbuster where you rented it and then brought it back?
They sold
They sell the games.
All right.
games and the consoles
Okay.
and other
Is it because
toys.
is there a diminution in the demand for the games and people aren't?
Some of that's part of the problem because a lot of stuff you can do online.
Yeah, it's
but they're based out of Grapevine, Texas, and they were when I was with them too. They just reportedly dropped the stock for their companies reportedly dropped significantly since its peak in 2021. So over the next few days, stores in Brookline, Chestnut Hill, and I worked at the Chestnut Hill store, Dartmouth, East Longmeadow, Hadley, Holyoke, And the Holyoke store was part of our district when I was there. Malden, Stoughton, and Westfield, they're all going to close. And I have no idea how good of a business this one does in Woonsocket. I never really see cars out in front of it.
It's one of those businesses that you can see its ultimate end because of online purchasing and the fact that very much software now is no longer where you purchase the actual software and load it on your computer anymore or on your game console.
Yeah.
You are buying access through your Wi-Fi to a game system that's often some server farm, and you're playing through the internet.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
What
know
you're
how
buying
they can survive.
is a right to get into the software, and it's become, it's like when I realize now, or when you use Microsoft Windows products, Microsoft 365 now, you don't actually have that software on your computer anymore.
No.
You are
You access
in
it
the
somewhere
cloud
else.
operating your own computer, and everything you think you're saving on your computer, you're not. You're saving it on a thing called OneDrive, which is why they have all these server farms. You're saving your information on a server farm. And if you want to save that for your personal ownership, you can through a backup onto a hard drive that's separate from them. But eventually, if you go to use it again, you're going to have to be using it through them, through a Microsoft product that's out on the internet again.
It's fantastic marketing.
Yes. I know, Bob.
I think games are getting that way now, too.
Bob's got to get going, so he's got to get to court. So let's have a second message from your law office, Bob, and then we'll dismiss you, okay?
Thank you. Good morning. Earlier, I discussed with you the first stage of estate planning. I'd like to now move on to the second stage. Now that you've identified all the assets which are presently known to you, and which in fact may not include all the assets which you're entitled to receive at the time of your death, it's time to consider the eventual distribution of those assets. And I consider that you look at your assets in two categories. One, specific assets that you desire to pass on to others after your death. And Diana, that includes that small clock. And then those collective assets, corralled into one total. In each of these categories, you should be deciding not only upon the initial beneficiary, that is the individual or entity you desire to receive the asset following your death, but also a residual beneficiary, in the event that your originally selected beneficiary has died before you did. It's frequently prudent for an individual to consider bequests in percentage shares of the collective asset, and also to make provisions for the management of the bequest should the beneficiary you've selected not yet have attained the age of majority or suffer from a serious debilitating physical and or mental condition. In the event you'd like to discuss legal matters with me, please call my office for an appointment. My name is Bob Lauder. My telephone number is 762-4550. And the disclaimer, the Supreme Court of Rhode Island licenses all attorneys in the general practice of law. The court does not license or certify any attorney as an expert or specialist in any field of practice. Thank you.
All right, Bob, thanks, and enjoy court today, and we'll see you next Thursday, all right?
Thank you.
All right, we'll be back with more coffee and coming right up.
ON Radio.
Are you looking for solutions to meet your business banking needs? At Milford Federal, the longest-standing community bank in the area, they offer customized solutions for commercial lending, cash management, online banking, and payment processing services. Their business banking team is committed to the growth and success of your business with local decision-making and a relationship-based approach. Let Milford Federal be your banking partner. Visit them at milfordfederal.com today. Milford Federal Bank, our community, your bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, and MLS number 465956.
It's time for the Northern Rhode Island Council of the Arts annual Mardi Gras. Join the council for the coronation on February 8th and the Mardi Gras Ball on February 14th, featuring the Squeezebox Stompers. This year's contestants are Melissa Ayudele, Renee Chambroni, and Tatiana Rawlinson. Tickets for the event are available from the contestants. All the proceeds benefit the Council Scholarship Programs. For more information, contact Tammy at 401-257-5797, Wally at 401-486-9380, or visit nrica.org.
Hello, this is Melissa, and here's what's happening in the Valley. Taking place this Sunday, January 11th at 1:30 p.m. as part of the Museum of Work and Culture Valley's Talk Series. It's Looking Back 50 Years, 1976, and the Bicentennial Celebration in Woonsocket. This panel discussion is hosted by former Lieutenant Governor, grandfather of Autumn Fest, Woonsocket's own Roger Bejan. The program will reflect on the state of the city 50 years ago, the ways in which it celebrated the bicentennial, and how it's changed. Admission is free, but you must pre-register. Contact the Museum of Work and Culture, 42 South Main Street, Woonsocket. Do you have an event you'd like to share? Email events@woonsocketradio.com.
ON Radio.
It's Coffee and on ON. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here now with Mr. John Ward. And, back to the GameStop people, back when I was working for them, and they were Babbage's then. And I thought, this is the future, because it was computer software. There was nothing online at the time. And then I saw it slowly change. And the computer software stuff was going away, and the video games and systems were coming in. I go, we're turning into a toy store.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't want to work for a toy store. This is not what I signed up for. And so I did. I eventually got out.
It's a good thing, because Toys R Us went out of business.
That's right. I said, I was at Emerald Square Mall. I said, KB Toys, do you remember KB Toys? They were right across the way. I said, if I wanted to, I'd be over there, but I don't want to be over there. And people were coming in and asking me, is this a good game? I don't know.
They expect if you're working there, you must have played them all.
That's right. But the answer, and we had some kind of deal. We could take the games home and play them for like 10 days or something like that. I never did, because I'm not a game person. So
I never have been a game person either.
I
was satisfied with Mattel and television.
So Warner Brothers Discovery is rejecting a hostile takeover bid from Paramount Skydance. I love when these multi-million-dollar corporations fight each other. Warner had already agreed to sell its streaming and studio business to Netflix for $72 billion. Paramount has been trying to buy Warner's entire media empire, including its pay TV networks. On Wednesday, the board of Warner Brothers Discovery once again unanimously recommended that its shareholders reject the offer, which they claim is inferior to the Netflix offer.
They should check with the mayor of Minneapolis to draft up a statement for them to make.
That's right. Get the bleep out. and so this is bizarre down in Texas.
You think you're going to take me over? I'm going to take you over.
That's right. Sounds like The Godfather.
Oh, yeah.
You don't buy me out, I buy you. All right. The Texas Agriculture Commissioner, Sid Miller, is warning residents in Texas, near Houston, to be specific, about packages of unsolicited seeds that are arriving in the mail. You didn't order them, and just here they are. But you don't know what they are. And so the most recent record of the mailings arrived somewhere in a town called Clute, which is south of Houston.
What are they?
Late last year. The package from China included seeds in an unknown liquid. Reports indicate similar mystery mailings have arrived in other states, including Ohio, New Mexico, and Alabama. Now, Miller says the seeds, one, should not be planted. You shouldn't even open this, but you don't throw it away, because it'll end up in a landfill where something might grow, and we don't know what it is. So what do you do? Instead, Miller says anyone in Texas, by the way, who's getting such a package should contact his office, Texas Agricultural Commissioner, and they will come and get them, and they will destroy the seeds. But they don't know what it is. Or at least they're not telling us what it is.
Somebody's got to know what
Somebody
it is.
knows what it is.
You don't say, don't do it, we will come and get them and destroy them, without knowing what it is you're getting and destroying.
Well, they don't want to tell us or tell the populace
you know what the problem
is
with something like that?
What's that?
The minute somebody gets one of those packages, they're going to go get a pot, they're going to put some soil in it, and they're going to plant the seeds.
Someone's going to plant it.
And they're going to point whatever liquid on there into it to see what happens.
Yeah, you just put the whole thing and see what grows. Are we going to get a plant like from a Little Shop of Horrors? We're going to get a Seymour? No, he wasn't Seymour. I forget the name of the plant in Little Shop of Horrors.
Whatever it is.
I don't know.
I don't think we have to worry about human fly traps.
I don't know, but how do they know they're coming from China?
Venus human traps.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so that's what's going down there in Texas. People still like to steal other people's identity, and a woman who stole a St. Louis doctor's identity, she is heading to prison. She's been caught. Federal prosecutors say Angela Boston of Kansas forged diplomas with the unidentified physician's name and then faked a Missouri medical license and tried to get a job in Oklahoma. Oh, they'll never find me there. And she also used the same doctor's name in order to obtain, I think this is the real thing, She wanted to obtain prescription painkillers. That might be the real cause of why she did this.
I have several at my home. They're called hammers.
Well, Boston was sentenced this week to only 10 months behind bars. You think you get a little more for identity theft, but 10 months and 3 years of supervised release, whatever that entails.
Yeah, all right.
Dave Richards has joined us at the coffee and table.
I have.
Good morning to you there,
Oh,
Dave.
good.
There you go.
I knew I was doing something. Hi, John.
Hey, Dave. Or,
Where's Bob?
He had to get to court.
Oh,
should
I
court
see.
time,
say,
court during
hey,
court time.
Dave. Lovely day.
Yes, it is a lovely day, yeah. For winter time, sure. Not a fan of winter, but for winter, this is a lovely day.
I'm a fair weather friend. Mm-hmm. And I see the temperatures in the foreseeable future will be hovering in the low 40s and upper 30s, which to me is
Yay.
practically not winter.
Yay for thawing. Okay.
It's the most wonderful thing about the Blackstone Valley, even in the summertime and wintertime, which are the two extremes of our weathers, that you get the extremes, but you get them just for a short time, a number of days, and then it goes back and moderates somewhat for you. I thought that's the most wonderful characteristic of our weather here, that in the summertime, it gets really wicked hot. You might get 100, you might get 110 or something like that, heat index and stuff like that, but only for 3 or 4 or 5 days, and then it goes back to being in the 80s. And the same thing in the wintertime. You'll get those wicked days where it doesn't see freezing. It doesn't even come up to freezing for 3 or 4 or 5 days. And then it moderates like it's going to for the next 3 or 4 days.
Well, the thing I appreciate about getting to the middle of January, if you've already had a severe cold situation like we have had, is that you know that any future cold snap is likely to be shorter in duration, because the sun's getting up higher in the sky, and so the temperature generally is changing. So
Do you know
those short bursts. However,
Do you
I
know-
also suspect because the temperature is rising, it tends to imply that there's more moisture in the air in those situations, which tends to lead to potentials for snowfall,
Yeah.
significant snowfall.
Do you know what the statistically the coldest time of the year is here in the Blackstone Valley?
I'm guessing that it's
The
sometime
last week
in
of January.
That's,
Statistically.
All right.
well, that's because that's when my birth date comes.
Man,
On
happy
another
birthday,
note,
by the way.
there's this girl down in Florida, 17-year-old girl.
There's several of them.
I don't
Joe.
know if she's relieved or what, but she's recovering. She spent 16 hours in the operating room. They were amputating her left leg. She's been dealing with a tumor on her leg most of her life. Just her left leg weighed 174 pounds.
Ouch.
Just that leg.
Tough to lose weight that way.
So, and now, I don't know why they didn't remove the tumor earlier, but now the leg got infected. So they said, we really got to get rid of this thing. And so they did. 16 hours to amputate the leg.
The question is, I guess they're assuming that the tumor has not appeared anywhere
hasn't
else
spread,
or has
so
been
no.
manageable, and therefore she will live a long and happy life, I hope.
There's no official name for the condition she actually has. And they're keeping the leg. We're not tossing this baby out. We need to study what this thing is.
I
See if we can figure it out.
suspect her name will probably be associated with whatever they call it.
Her name is Jasmine Rodriguez. I'm sorry, Jasmine Ramirez.
Ramirez.
Might be the Ramirez syndrome.
So they can call it
There you go.
Ramirez or Jasmine.
So so back to artificial intelligence. I'm sure people have used, or John, maybe you have Chat GPT.
I use them all.
Okay.
Sometimes I like to ask the same question
See if you get the
across
same
all
answer?
three.
To see
I'll
if-
ask Grok, ChatGPT, and Gemini, and I see what kind of differences there are in the answers. And
there
there
a
are
lot?
differences.
Okay. Well, OpenAI is launching ChatGPT Health because ChatGPT deals with 230 million people who ask the chatbot health questions every week.
Extremely dangerous situation.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should I get this looked at? Should I get this amputated? ChatGPT Health will keep health questions separate from other chats. OpenAI says it will not use health questions to train its models.
That's what they say.
But having
So they
used
say
it
no.
for that purpose, I can tell you that it also, like the CDC, concludes every
Always.
statement it makes with, you should always check with your physician before taking any advice that we
From
provide
us.
here, because we are not a medical service
Yep.
or a practitioner.
This is what we think it is,
They
but
have,
you
they
really
have,
should
they
get it
have to
checked.
do the standard kind of disclaimer like, Bob Lotter does about the legal profession here in Rhode Island.
Yep.
Where they say, yeah, we're not doctors. Check with your physician.
But I find that amazing that it's 230 million medical requests going out to artificial intelligence.
I don't.
That's so many.
See, the thing about artificial intelligence that I like to use it for is, and asking medical questions is just that. You are accessing information to research a question that spans billions of sites across the world, filters it out, and gives you an answer within 2 minutes, which is far more research than you could possibly do alone.
On your own.
Like you used to do, where you'd ask a question or you'd put something in Google as a search bar, and then it comes up with 1,000 different sites you can go to. It does all that for you in the span
Or
of
make
seconds.
a statement based on and give a citation to Funk and Wagnalls.
Yeah, this is what we found.
Funk and Wagnalls was an
I know.
encyclopedia.
I'm just chuckling because it reminds me of which TV show
Rowan
used
and
Funk
Martin.
and Wagnalls.
Rowan and Martin's laughing.
Rowan and Martin. That's
Look this
what
up
it
in your
was.
funk.
Could have been the Encyclopedia Britannica.
Britannica. We had the World Book
The
encyclopedia.
World Book
in
was
our
big,
house.
yeah.
Funk and Waggle, the F word was pretty close to what they really wanted to say, I think. And they got away with it.
They got past the NBC censors.
By the censors, that's right. All right, that'll do it for the show for today. So thank you very much for listening in. Our thanks to Bob Lotter, who joined us earlier in the program.
Thanks, Bob.
John, thanks for being here as well.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you for
Alrighty.
having me.
Dave, thanks for popping in the last few minutes here.
It's been an equal pleasure.
All right, this is Joe Callahan. Gary Smith and the crew, Do You Remember, is coming your way.
Oh, boy.
Right after the 9 o'clock news on ON Radio.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio.